My name is Patrick, and I'm one of the board members of Evangelicals for Life, and I manage our social media and our website. Today, I'll be interviewing Mr. Bernie Finn. Who is Bernie Finn? Bernie Finn is a member of the Legislative Council in the Victorian Parliament. He's been a member of the Liberal Party for 4 decades. He was first elected to the Victorian Parliament from 2006 and has been re-elected in 2010, 14, and 18. Mr. Finn has been one of the lead organizers of the March for Babies in Victoria, which is the equivalent of the for Life in Sydney. He has made a Facebook post simply acknowledging that there's two bodies in a pregnancy. And he also posted that he was praying for abortion to end. He said killing babies is criminal and that civilized societies don't kill their young. These posts are seen here. And here. For these posts and for his pro-life views, Mr. Finn has been kicked out of the Liberal Party by the leader of the Victorian Liberal Party, Matthew Guy. Bernie Finn joins me now. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Finn.
Oh, that's a very great pleasure, Peter. Patrick, what am I talking about? Patrick, good to see you. It's been a long couple of weeks. I'm still coming to grips with it all.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Finn, can you tell me about where you are at now? So you've been kicked out by Matthew Guy for your pro-life views.
Yes.
Where are you at now?
Well, where I'm at now is that today is my first day in the Parliament as the leader of the Democratic Labor Party, which is a pro-life party, a conservative Labor Party, and I'm very, very relaxed and very, very happy as leader of the DLP, and I'm going to be promoting very strong pro-life views and as if I haven't been doing that already, but I'll be continuing to do that. It is just a joy to among people who agree with me and support me and want me to continue on what I've been doing for years, which is great.
Good on you, Bernie. Yeah, we need leaders with integrity like yourself. Now, in response to a comment that abortion should be available to those who have been raped, you said that, I quote, "Babies should not be killed for the crime of his or her parent." Now,
Yep.
we as Evangelicals for Life fully back that statement. But for some of us, we may be afraid to speak up for the unborn when the topic of rape comes up.
Yes,
because we think it's too sensitive.
Yeah.
What advice can you give us when we approach this topic with, say, our family and friends?
Well, we've got to do it with compassion. There's no doubt about that. And you know, any woman who is faced with sexual assault or rape has to be dealt with very compassionately and helped as much as possible. But you know, I've spoken to a number of women, particularly over the last couple of weeks, who have said to me that they were raped, they became pregnant, and they went on and they had children, had the child, and it was the best thing they ever did. It was the best thing I ever did. And indeed, I've spoken to one person who was actually a victim, or not a victim, but a product of rape, if you let me use that term.
Yes.
And obviously, she was very, very pleased that she was still alive.
Yes.
But you know, it seems to me that we use the assumption that abortion is some sort of panacea for everything far too easily. It doesn't matter what it is. Off to the abortionist with you. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter how the baby came into being. The baby is still a baby.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. And if we are serious in our pro-life convictions, if we are serious about defending every innocent child, then we stand up for all babies under whatever circumstances they may have come into being. And you know, as I've said in the past, and you know, some people's eyebrows have been raised a little. I've said, you know, it's not the mother's fault. It's not the baby's fault. It's the rapist's fault. If you want to kill somebody, kill the rapist.
Yep.
But you know, let's not kill the baby for something that he or she has absolutely no responsibility for.
That's right. Yes.
But you know, you've got to remember, Patrick, that we're talking about 1%. we're talking about 1%. I mean, we're here in Victoria, in New South Wales, in Queensland, Tasmania, there is abortion right up until 40 weeks. And that is just stomach churning in the extreme. It disgusts me beyond words how anybody can kill a baby at that age. Well, I'm against obviously the killing of a baby at any age, but particularly at 40, 35, 40 weeks. I find that absolutely horrendous, and that's
right, yeah.
that's happening, and we are seeing babies born alive as a result of failed abortions, and those babies are then most often left to die or killed once they're born.
Yep.
And that's something that none of us should find acceptable.
That's right.
I mean,
yes.
I think the rape argument is sort of is something when the pro-abortionists have nowhere else to go, they throw up the rape argument.
Oh yes.
And I find in discussions or a debate or in an argument, if you will, if I can use that term, once they throw the rape argument at you, you've won, because that's all they've got left. That's all they have left. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, there is no justification for killing an unborn child whatsoever.
There isn't. No, there isn't. Absolutely not. I mean, that child has as much right to live as you or I, and should be fully protected by the law. That child is as human as you or I, and should be protected by the law. It just seems, this strange double standard that we have, that there are some human beings that are worth protection, other human beings that are not worth protection. And that to my way of thinking is just it's just warped thinking. It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
Yeah,
it makes no
that's
sense
right.
at all.
Yes, and for women who have endured those terrible things, as no doubt you would be supporting, Bernie. There's many pregnancy support centers out there.
Yeah.
New South Wales, Victoria.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Love to help women.
There are some absolutely magnificent and wonderful people out there helping pregnant women every day, and they, I know many of them have given their lives to doing that, and they, as far as I'm concerned, they are worthy of being saints. They are just absolutely magnificent people, and they deserve our recognition. But at the same time, they know more than anybody that abortion is not the answer. This theory that we seem to have in the world that whatever your problem is, have an abortion. It doesn't work, and we know. One of the warnings that Planned Parenthood, the intercontinental baby killer, I think it's the biggest baby killer in the world. On the list of warnings that it gives before it commits an abortion, one of the side effects is suicide. Now, even they know that abortion impacts women in ways that is just in years gone by unimaginable. But it's just horrendous. Horrendous.
Yes, and for anyone who's watching out there who've had an abortion, experiencing those things, yes, there's many pregnancy centers out there who would love to help you. You just got to contact them.
And there are a lot of people who help women who are going through trauma as a result of an abortion, and there are many women. Don't let anybody say if somebody is watching this who is going through that trauma, that post-abortion grief. Don't let yourself think that you're on your own, because there are many women who feel exactly the same way, and there are many people who are happy and prepared to help you through that. Many, in fact, who have been through it themselves, and I know that for a fact. I mean, we have on our March for the Babies committee here in Melbourne. I'm chairman of the March for the Babies, and on our March for the Babies committee, we have a couple of women who have had abortions, and who now have committed their lives to fighting it. And I know a number of women and men, I might say, who have been through that as well, and are committed to changing everything. And probably the greatest man I ever met was a bloke called Dr. Bernard Nathanson, who was a doctor, the king of abortion. They call him the father of abortion. If that's not a cross purposes term, and he personally had committed some 90,000 abortions And
Wow.
he
Nice,
started
nice.
studying fetology. He got a bit bored with abortion, and he
Mm,
started studying fetology. And he was an atheist. Didn't have any influence from a religious
mm,
belief of his own. And he looked in the mirror one day after having studied fetology, and he said, "My God, what have I done?" And he spent the rest of his
mm.
life traveling the world, speaking out against abortion and telling people what they had done in the United States to get abortion legalized,
Mm.
and warning people of what it was, and the impact that it had on people. So Dr. Nathanson was an extraordinary man. But there are a lot of particularly in the US, there are a lot of abortionists, ex-abortionists now, who are working furiously to try and undo
Mm.
what, of course, you can't bring the babies back, but they're trying to
Mm.
undo and warn others of what lies ahead if they go ahead with an abortion.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, people who realize that, well, when they look at the facts, when they look at the biology, yeah, you don't need a religion to know that it's wrong.
No,
You just need to know what biology is.
that's
But
right, exactly
yeah.
right. Yeah. Well,
Mm,
that's the thing that amazes me. You've got these highly intelligent people who say, "Oh,
mm,
well, it's a clump of cells," but yet they'll tell you that you've got to follow the science on climate change. Now, I would suggest to you very, very strongly there is far, far, far more scientific evidence to prove the humanity of the unborn than there is about climate change.
mm,
But yet, we're apparently supposed to turn the world upside down over climate change and turn a blind eye,
yeah,
to tens of thousands of Australian babies
that's right.
being killed every year.
That's right.
The logic is just not there. Just
Especially
not there.
for our government has been stating that the reason why they've acted the way they have done in the past 2 years is for the purpose of saving people's lives.
Yes,
And now here we
yes,
go. We
yes,
have
yes,
the
yes,
biggest loss of life
yeah.
happening
Well,
now.
last week Joe Biden said that guns were the biggest killers of children in America.
Yes,
No, no, no.
abortion is it.
Abortion is. That's the
Yeah,
biggest killer of children
yeah,
in America. It's the
that's
biggest
right.
killer of children in the world. It's one of the
Mm.
biggest killers of humans in the world.
Yes.
And one of these days, I know people are going to wake up. They're going to realise what has happened and what has been going on, and they are going to look back on us now
Mm.
in the same way that we look back on the Germans of the 1930s and the
Mm.
1940s, and they're going to look back on us and they're going to say, how could they let that happen?
Yep.
How could they let that happen? And those who did let it happen are going to have to answer for that, either in this life or the next.
That's right.
But
Yep.
they're going to have to answer for that. And I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people around who are going to be in trauma, in deep distress, when the reality of what they have done hits them. And
Mm.
when we saw what the Americans did, what the Russians did when they liberated the death camps
Yep.
after the Second World War, where they paraded the Germans
Mm.
through those death camps. And there's going to be a similar impact in the Western world, Eastern world too as well, I think. But
Mm.
certainly in the Western world, there's going to be a similar impact when we liberate the babies and
Mm.
we stop killing the babies, and people are forced to face what has happened for decades. And in the US alone, we're looking at about 70 million
Yep.
children that
Yep.
have been killed since Roe v. Wade. It's just horrendous.
That's right. Imagine
Horrendous.
if all the people coming to have an abortion, all these pro-abortion advocates were to see all the babies, the dead corpses of the babies.
Mm,
Yep, it's
yeah. Well,
amazing. Now,
I'm trying very hard, and I know a lot of other people are trying very hard, not just to save the babies, but to save the pro-abortionists from
mm,
what they face coming. It's just,
mm,
I mean, I have nothing against the pro-abortionists. I just want them to stop killing babies.
yeah,
That's all. I don't think that's asking too much.
yeah,
And I want to help them. I want to help them. And I have nothing against any of them. But I just want them to stop killing babies, and we can work it out from there.
Yep, that's right. Yep. Now, Bernie, you've been a leader of the pro-life movement for a long time, and
I have to say, Patrick, I didn't ask for me, but it seems
that's right. Yeah,
it seems that I've been elevated to that.
leadership is rare. You rarely ask to be a leader. You get to put you get put in a position. You got to lead. Well, yeah, from that situation. Now, what encouragements and challenges do you have for us in your time in office to the New South Wales pro-life movement?
Yeah, we'll look to the New South Wales pro-life movement. I mean, the New South Wales pro-life movement has the same challenges as the Victorian pro-life movement, the Queensland pro-life movement, South Australia, West Australia, wherever it is. We have the same challenge, and that is, and this is something that I'd say to particularly to your viewers. I'm a Christian, and I know that most of your viewers would be Christian, and I think if every Christian was to do what they are supposed to do, we would stop abortion tomorrow. No more babies would be killed. If we all did what we should do, we would close the clinics tomorrow. There would not be a politician. There would not be a politician who would be prepared to say that they are pro-abortion. They wouldn't be game. If every Christian stood up and said, if you support abortion, we are going to throw you out.
Yes.
There would be no more abortion.
That's right.
It would end like that. It would end
That's
like
right.
that. So it's really up to us. It's all very well. It's all very well for people to say somebody else will do it.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't work that way.
No.
We have a responsibility, an obligation, a duty to stop this killing, to stop this dreadful slaughter.
Yes.
That has been going on in our country and throughout the world. Now, we can't impact so much what's happening in America or in England or wherever else. Or they're going very well in America, I have to say, very well indeed. But certainly we can in Australia, and we can make it very, very clear to our politicians who make the laws that if they continue to support laws which allow babies to be killed, that we're going to abort their political lives.
Yep.
And you kill babies, we will kill your political life.
Yes.
And that I think is a very very, very tangible and a very practical way of stopping the killing.
Yes, we hope that Christians will be viewing this, and particularly speaking to the Christians who might not be so involved or who are new to this movement. Yes, as the Bible talks about speaking up for those who cannot speak for themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
The babies who are about to be killed, and to rescue those being led to the slaughter. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we just got an obligation. I mean, this is a calling from God to fight this. These are God's children who are being killed, who are being slaughtered, and they're tens of thousands every year. And no Christian can seriously stand back and let that happen.
That's right.
It's just, that just flies in the face of everything that Christ stood for and stands for and stands for.
Now, Mr. Finn, how can we be praying for you?
Well, look. I'm hopeful that you will pray for me. Yes, I certainly am. But I'm also very hopeful that you will pray for an end to abortion. You will pray for strength. You will pray for commitment. You will pray for the Holy Spirit to come and give you what it takes to stop this. And I'm very happy to come to Sydney, as I have in the past, to speak to any pro-life group. I'm very happy to go anywhere at any time and speak to any pro-life group, because this is something that I am totally committed to. We are all called to something. There is a reason. We're all put on this earth for a reason. I think I'm fortunate, and I found out what mine is. And there's a lot of people who go through life and still shaking their heads as on their deathbed. They still don't know, but I certainly know what mine is, and mine is to protect those children, to stop the killing. And I will do whatever I can to do that. And if you want me to assist As I say, you want me to come to Sydney, you want me to go to Brisbane, anywhere, I'm very happy to do that. But I do need your prayers. There is an unbeatable combination of actions in this life. There is action and there is prayer. And one without the other is no good. You've got to have them both together. You've got to have them both together. And if you can do that, you've got half the battle won. And we will win this battle. We must win this battle. But the thing is, and we have to remember this, that every single day that we don't win it, every single day that we allow this to continue, it means more babies are killed. More babies are ripped to pieces. It is just horrendous. I mean, this is something that drives me as something that is in my mind constantly. That every day that we allow abortion to continue, more babies die, and that's something that we really have to hammer home in our own minds. I think
that's right. Yeah, Bernie, you've been a politician for a good part of 16 years, and your advice is if every Christian was to stand up and make their voices known to the politicians, abortion would stop today.
Absolutely, without question. I've actually been in Parliament now for 23 years because I was for 7 years in the lower house as well. But there's no doubt in my mind that if Christians all stood up and said the same thing, if Christians, whether they be Catholic bishops, whether they be pastors, whether they be lay people, whoever they may be, if everybody stood up and said the same thing, and that is, you keep the killing going, or you let the killing going, and we are coming to get you at the polls. If every Christian were to say that to our political leaders, they would act, because they will act in self-interest every time. Time.
You know how politics work better than anyone. Bernie Finn, thank you very much for this interview. And yes, if you come to Sydney, well, you have my number. We can arrange something there.
That'd be great, Patrick. I'll catch up with you there one day soon.